Britain's underworld has always thrived in the shadows, shaping society from Victorian alleys to modern estates. Gangs weren't just petty thieves, they were organized with strict codes and hierarchies. They built empires on fear, violence and illegal enterprise, protection rackets, gambling, smuggling, robbery. Reputation was everything. A name could be more valuable than gold. The underworld constantly evolved, adapting to new eras and opportunities. Post-war gangsters craved respect and power, ruling with fists and wits in tight-knit communities. Outsiders were shunned, and betrayal meant brutal punishment. These figures became legends, their stories whispered and sensationalized, woven into British folklore. As society changed, so did the criminals. Old rackets persisted, but new doors opened. Some gangsters stepped into the limelight, owning nightclubs and courting celebrities. But violence and control remained at the core. The stakes rose, and violence became more calculated and ruthless. Today, globalization and technology have transformed organized crime into a multinational business. Gangs are more diverse, networks more complex, threats more sophisticated, from cybercrime to international drug trafficking. Yet the core remains, exploiting weakness, generating illicit profit, and ruling through fear. From the Peaky Blinders to digital criminals, the underworld mirrors the society it preys upon. It's a constant, unending battle. The faces change, but the darkness endures. This is the story of Britain's criminal underworld. In the 1960s, Ronnie and Reggie Cray ruled London's East End. More than gangsters, they were celebrities, charismatic, stylish and ruthless. Their empire, the Firm, thrived on violence and intimidation, running protection rackets and nightclubs frequented by politicians and stars. Their public image masked a brutal reality. Ronnie's unpredictable violence and Reggie's cold calculation made them a terrifying duo. Their power peaked with brazen murders. George Cornell shot in a crowded pub and Jack the Hat McVitie stabbed at a party. These acts sent shockwaves through the underworld, showing the Cray's grip was slipping into chaos. Their hunger for fame became their downfall. Detective Nipper Red of Scotland Yard relentlessly pursued them, breaking the code of silence. In 1968, the twins were arrested. Their trial was a media sensation. Convicted of murder in 1969, they received life sentences. The Cray's fall ended an era, but their legend endures. A dark chapter in London's history. Their story is a warning. Power built on fear is always fragile. The Cray's myth lives on, but so does the memory of their violence. Their reign was brief, but their impact was lasting. London would never be the same. The underworld moved on, but the Cray's shadow lingers. While the Crays sought fame, the Richardson Gang ruled South London with terror. Led by Charlie and Eddie Richardson, they were infamous for sadism and torture. Their business front was scrap metal, but their real trade was fraud and extortion. Long-firm fraud, setting up fake businesses, ordering goods on credit, then vanishing, was their specialty. Those who crossed them faced mock trials. Torture sessions involving pliers, bolt cutters and electric shocks. Mad Frankie Fraser, their enforcer, became a legend for his brutality. The gang's cruelty ensured obedience and spread fear. Their downfall came after a violent club gunfight in 1966, leading to the torture trial. Police finally had leverage. Terrified witnesses spoke out. Charlie Richardson and key members received long sentences, ending their reign. The Richardsons left a legacy of pure brutality. No glamour, just fear. The 1980s and 90s saw British organised crime shift to international drug trafficking. Curtis "Cocky" Warren, a Liverpool mastermind, led this new era. He built a global network, importing heroin and cocaine directly from cartels. Warren's genius was logistics, smuggling drugs in lead ingots, hiding shipments in everyday goods. His operation earned hundreds of millions, but he kept a low profile, avoiding the limelight that doomed earlier gangsters. The drug trade devastated communities, fueling addiction and crime. Warren's empire was vast, but law enforcement caught up. In 1996, Dutch police arrested him with massive drug hauls and firearms. He was sentenced to 12 years, later convicted of manslaughter in prison. Warren's story marks the transformation of crime from local gangs to global enterprises. The profits soared, but so did the human cost. Organized crime was now a multinational business. The stakes and the damage were higher than ever. The 21st century brought new threats: county lines and Albanian gangs. County lines is a business model. Urban gangs expand drug sales into rural areas using dedicated phone lines. Vulnerable children are groomed and exploited, sent far from home to sell drugs, trapped by threats and violence. Cuckooing, taking over addicts' homes, became common, putting the most vulnerable at risk. Gang leaders remain insulated while young people face the danger. Alongside this, Albanian gangs, Mafia Shqiptare, rose to dominate the cocaine market. Renowned for discipline and violence, they forged direct links with South American cartels. Their strict code of silence, Beza, makes them nearly impenetrable to police. Betrayal is met with brutal retribution, often targeting families. Their reach extends to human trafficking, firearms, and money laundering. These groups are highly structured, ruthlessly efficient, and a formidable challenge for law enforcement. Britain's underworld is now more global and more dangerous than ever. The fight against organized crime is relentless and ever-changing. In the Cray's era, breaking the wall of silence took courage and old-school detective work. Serious crime squads emerged to counter growing gang power. As crime globalized, police collaborated internationally, using surveillance and new laws to target criminal finances. The Proceeds of Crime Act allowed authorities to seize assets, hitting gangs where it hurt most. Today, county lines demand a multi-agency approach. Police, social services, schools, focused on safeguarding exploited children. Disrupting phone lines, arresting leaders, and supporting victims are key strategies. Tackling international networks like the Albanian gangs requires cutting-edge intelligence and covert operations. The National Crime Agency leads this fight, using cyber tools and global partnerships. The goal: dismantle entire criminal enterprises from importation to money laundering. It's a high-stakes, technology-driven battle. The enemy is ruthless and adaptable. Law enforcement must always stay one step ahead. The British gangster has long fascinated the public, inspiring books, TV, and film. Stories are often romanticized, turning brutal criminals into anti-heroes. Get Carter set the tone: gritty, violent, and distinctly British. The Cray's legend inspired films like The Crays and Legend, cementing their myth in popular culture. Guy Ritchie's Lock, Stock and Snatch brought dark comedy and stylized action, creating a cartoonish underworld. These films entertain but often gloss over the grim reality. The real violence and misery are downplayed for style. Organized crime is not glamorous, it's about exploitation and destruction. These stories are modern folklore, but the truth is far darker. The real cost is paid by the vulnerable and the communities left shattered. We must remember the reality behind the legend.